Let's go. AMA was inspiring. What do you think? The team, you can just tell this Giga patch is going awesome. So far, so good. What do you think, Ogre?
Oh my gosh, dude. That was the most exciting AMA I've heard in a while. Dude, especially for like crafts. Like definitely some alpha there for those heroes that are gonna be your craftsmen. I mean, so there's a few things there, right? But bottom line, I think that a hero that is like rare, legendary, or mythic has a blue crafting profession, so that both of them match. And then the class also matches their crafting profession. So where at least one of the two stats that are required for the crafting profession are really high expectation of going up on a level up with that class. And then the other one is like decently suited because I think they set it up to where there's no, except for like elite classes and stuff like that, there's no base level classes that are going to be the bomb at any profession or any one crafting skill.
Right.
Because they only have one stat that'll be really good. The other stat's kind of garbage in pretty much all cases.
Yeah. I could pull up that crafting chart. Here, I've got it. Oh, it doesn't show. Okay.
Oh no.
Well, no worries.
You got to bring up the other.
I wasn't sharing the whole screen.
Yeah.
Okay, there it is. Okay. So, yeah, man. It's still like blacksmithing fire. I got that one down pat. Goldsmithing water. Maybe I think I just got that. Armor smithing earth. Woodworking wind. WW. That's an easy one. Leatherworking lightning. Another easy one. Enchanting light. Though. Okay. Alchemy dark. Tailoring ice. Okay. Yeah. So you were just saying there's not too many of these that are basic classes that are good on both stats.
Right. I mean, like you've been goldsmithing, you got the pirate that's up there, woodworking, you got the warrior, and you got leatherworking, it's a berserker. But if you look, most of the normal heroes are down there in the middle or the bottom. And up top is where you have your transcendent and elite heroes and stuff like that.
Yep. Legionnaire is a good woodworker. Priest is a good tailor.
Yep.
Pirate, archer, thief are all good goldsmithers. Interesting. Okay.
And also keep in mind that that subclass also contributes to leveling up. So this doesn't really take into account subclasses. There almost needs to be another table to where it's class and subclass. God, that would be a beast of a table, though.
You'd have to.
How many heroes do we have now? What is it? 8, 12. And then 6 plus 3 and 1. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So 22 times 22. That's a lot of information.
Yes. I love you guys. So yeah, the team, you can just feel it. I can just feel the bullishness being intense.
Mm-hmm.
It's like freaking awesome. But you know, it's been kind of crazy to me. It's been a little crazy that like when I look at the charts, which I gotta go back. I guess I just need to go back to presenting the normal screen. Okay. Oops. So when you look at the charts of the game, you know, it's not the sentiment. I still want to come back to that. I'm a little bit surprised that the sentiment isn't a little stronger.
What do you mean?
Well, you know, just looking at the charts, not good. Like Jewel is still so way down. It's down.
Everything's way down. I mean, Bitcoin crashed today.
I know Bitcoin did, but as even recently as Bitcoin was going up, Jewel was going down, everything. And so,
but that's natural, right? I mean, in games over time on the blockchain, something I've noticed is that, and I think I've even said it before, it all works in waves, right? It all works in cycles. So right after a major update that everybody's like, ooh, awesome new feature, I love this, you're going to see a big spike. And then the longer it takes to have another major feature update where everybody gets excited, it's going to go down until you see that. Unless like there's massive marketing and a whale jumps in, obviously it changes things. But the general flow for the first couple of years, 3 years is gonna be this way. I mean, we need to get ready for that and expect it, right? I mean, and take advantage of it potentially if you're in a position to do so. So that way you can stack up even higher and wait for the dip, come back heavier.
Yeah.
Right?
One thing is for sure, the fundamentals have never been stronger for DeFi Kingdoms, baby. So I've been hard at it, focused today on. So I'm doing this beginner series because it's way overdue. It's so way overdue to do this beginner series, and it's like we've been talking about it so long. I'm just gonna crank it out, and so, but it's like it's hard. Like, how much information do I want to put in versus not put in? Because it's a lot, but I'm trying to simplify it because it's not a lot to anybody that's been around. It's easy. You just kind of know your way around and it's just comes secondhand nature. But for somebody brand new, and it's really important as time has gone on, I think a lot of the ecosystem, like we lose track of a little bit here over the last, I'd say 8 months, new people coming in, and I do as well, and just how lost they be. So like even talking to George, he's just like lost.
Yep.
It's
a very complex game by design, and that's the beauty of it, right? I mean, is everybody going to love a game this complex? No. It's going to be way too much for some people. Some people just want to pick up a controller and shoot stuff. Got it. Some people like engaging the gray matter a little bit more, and this is a game for them. And keep in mind, right? It's very complex, for us. But eventually, I think what we're going to see happen, I'm assuming the PvP is going to be friggin' awesome, right? So let's assume that, start with that base assumption. Yeah. What I think we're going to see happen is once that launches and becomes fully feature rich, we'll see people coming in just to buy heroes so they can play PvP. And they're not going to miss the rest of it, right? We will then be there on the back end using all of our heroes and farming away the resources to create the awesome gear that some people are just going to come in and buy. Right. And eventually that's where we're going to get. You will not always be able to make a bunch of money playing crypto games. As we can see now, sometimes you can't even do it today, right? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. But I mean, I think that over time we'll see that happen. It'll go back to, if you want to play a game, you got to pay. It's entertainment value. We, because we're here in the very beginning, are essentially like in a Kickstarters type role to where we are able to hang on as the team builds. And over time, it'll be worth it. And I know some people got sour in previous video, and I was like, DeFi Kingdoms is awesome. It's beautiful. Now put it over here and look at these new shiny objects. But what I wasn't trying to throw shade at DeFi Kingdoms. What I was trying to say is that every project with any measure of complexity hits this point, right? To where it takes a long time for them to get an update out. And it doesn't mean that the project's not going to win. It doesn't mean that all of a sudden the team just went from trustworthy to no. It means they've got a lot of work on their hands and they're nugging it out. And if you want to distract you during that time so that you can not lose your shite on that team, that helps you, it helps the community, and it helps the team. That's more what I'm trying to get at with that. Yeah.
And I think just a big part of what these delays have, is they've been having to relay the foundational pieces, the groundwork, things like the diamond contracts. They've had to rework all the contracts. One thing that was interesting too in the AMA, like they were speaking past tense. Like last week, they wrapped up all the contracts, like the Profession 10 level quest and stuff. Like it's ready to go, from what it sounded like to me today. So that might be coming real soon.
Didn't he say like next Wednesday? I know he mentioned, I missed what he said, but he said Frisky mentioned that something he anticipated dropping next Wednesday in the weekly, that update.
You know what? So he was talking about something else. He wasn't talking about the whatever B3 quest like Magnus was.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he was talking about when he said that. That's what I was asking. Did you catch that?
And I actually went back and watched it twice and I don't even know where that came from because I just missed it. But there's some kind of little teaser that Frisky gave us. But kind of where I was going is that with all the foundational pieces done now, like even the validators, the Avalanche validators, I think a lot more of these updates will come a lot faster. They said that too. So they'll be able to be cranking out more updates faster now that, so I hear people say, crafting will be in a year from now, or something. I don't know.
It's going to be that long, but
yeah.
Q3, I would not expect it before Q3, and I would not be surprised if it was Q1 at all.
Wouldn't be surprised.
It takes time, and they're respecting the fact that there's people's money involved, right? So they don't want to rush into anything that's going to cost you, me, or anybody else in the community to lose money because they messed up, right? Because that would destroy the game. It would destroy the community, destroy the game.
Right.
Like,
they got to do it right.
So yeah, they're taking the time, they're doing it right, and I respect that. And I know some people are impatient and they don't want to wait, but educational moment, y'all. Like, you're not going to get rich overnight. This is all about growing your wealth over time. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, and so your strategy, you just keep summoning your Gen Zeros, and you've got a whole bunch of Gen 1s ready to go when you feel like you're ready for your summoning strategy. Isn't that right?
I'm so mad. I've been so busy and distracted lately. Like, I need to get with Helper and get the rest of my accounts on there, because aside from the account that they're doing and then the Crystal Kraken I've been doing with Mythic Squad every Friday, like, I have not been taking care of my heroes. I have not been curating them.
Yeah, I know. When you have when you have so many Gen Zeros, it's a lot of work to keep up with all the summoning.
Yeah, I've got two full accounts that are overflowing that have more than enough heroes to like fill it out, and it's overwhelming. It's too much, and it's just I've got a decent amount on my plate that I've let slip here, trying to focus and get my head right and figure out how I'm gonna survive this bear market on a personal level, right? Because all my income's coming from crypto, and crypto ain't so hot right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. There's going to be a future. There's a lot of things in the works right now. And actually, I just got a really cool phone call this afternoon, which if it happens, I can't talk about it yet, but if that goes through, it changes everything, like on so many levels. Like, and I'm talking about blockchain wide. I'm not even just talking about DFK.
You're not just talking about DFK. Okay.
No, but it would definitely benefit DFK.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know there's so many things going. I've had a lot of people hit me up, like George. Somebody asked George, does he think it's going to flip Axie, DeFi Kingdoms? And he said no. It's like he shot it down, and then I've connected with George since then on it but he's just, I don't.
George, if you watch this, all love, brother, but I disagree. I came across ours. What were you saying?
Right, I know. So but he's just saying. So and George told me he met Dreamer recently and thinks the world of him. Says he's one of the nicest guys he's ever met, and said he would love to he's like one of the guys he respects almost as much as anybody that he's ever met in crypto.
Right.
He would love to work with him someday, but he said outside of DFK, because he doesn't understand. I don't even know if Dreamer can save this thing. He's just looking at the charts. And so,
yeah, but he's just looking at the charts. He has no idea who the team is. He has no idea the complexity of this game. And I mean, honestly, I commend you for what you're doing.
Yeah.
I meant to do that for months, and every time I thought about it, I was overwhelmed. So I love you, bro. Thank you for picking it up and running with that, because it needed to be done.
Yeah.
Very much.
And he's been awesome. I think I might be getting on his Twitter Spaces next week.
Nice.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
He said that even live on his show. So
dude, you should like have him bring a bunch of us up there and we do an intervention and we just teach him DFK on Twitter.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at DeFi, you don't really see, like when you go to PancakeSwap or you go to Trader Joe or you go to any of these Uniswap, anywhere, those APRs are very low. It's like 5-10%, unless you have some shit coin, So it's like super low APRs, or you can go to V3 on PancakeSwap, and it's like, holy smokes, dangerous, because it's like, what the heck? You don't want to mess with that unless you really know what you're doing, because it's going to get one way or the other.
If you're going to if you're going to be providing liquidity, I'd definitely recommend learning it because it's a much better way of doing it than V2. Because V2, you put it in there, and then it's just you're at the mercy of the market, right? But with V3, you can set parameters and be like, you know what? No, I bought this jewel at $10. I'm not selling it for less than that. So I'm going to set my parameters at $11 to $15, and then just sit there and leave it. And you won't have any IL. Nothing will happen to it until it hits that window. Is the way I understand it. And I could be wrong, but that's just the way I understand
you're right.
it.
You're right. And so what I did was I had a bunch of Bitcoin. I was like, oh, that's some good APR. So I sold half the Bitcoin, put it into USDT, boom, put it in there. And then Bitcoin dumped immediately. Like it was just the other night, Bitcoin kind of took a dump. And what it did was it like, boom, sold all of the USDT right back into Bitcoin, which was fine. That's like what I would have wanted to happen. But if the flip would have happened where Bitcoin pumped, it would have sold it all out into USDT. And I wouldn't have realized that. And it would have kept, if it keeps pumping, you think you've got the Bitcoin USDT pool. No, you don't. You got to know what you're doing and set the parameters and all that. But the wider you set the parameters, the lower the APR. It's like nothing. And so it comes. And why is that? Why is that? Sustainable DeFi. There isn't sustainable DeFi hardly at all out there. We got mind games. We've got DeFi Kingdoms. Okay, because the earning token. What do we need? Like, for example, they're trying to be smarter about the tokenomics of Cake, and they're trying to add more utility for Cake. But realistically, there's not a whole lot of utility for Cake. Versus,
they could build a game around it.
DeFi, it doesn't get any better than DeFi Kingdoms. And so that's what one of the things George said too, was that, the DeFi is not good anymore. It's like not the juicy APRs. Well, but it's sustainable APRs, and you're earning a token that, yes, is now crashed. But now that it's crashed, and maybe it'll keep going down. I can't even believe it's as low as it is. But we all got to use this thing. We got to use Jade. We got to use Crystal. People are in there. They got to buy it every day if you want to hatch the eggs and do all these different things. It doesn't get any better than that. So this is I can't find anything. Osmosis is pretty good, but it's like, what do we need the Osmosis token for?
Exactly. That's what excited me so much about DeFi Kingdoms in the first place. It was this first DeFi project that gave real utility to its emitted token.
Exactly.
No one else had done that before. No one. And that was another thing they brought up on the AMA, which is so very true, is this team and this project has done so many firsts in cryptocurrency. Like, let them build out this PvP and let it hit. People are going to hear about this freaking thing, and it is going to explode massively because people are just going to finally pay attention and be like, wait, so they were the first GameFi project? They invented it? What? Oh, okay. Wow. And then just all of the dynamic heroes to where they can do all this other stuff. Like, nobody had really done that to the degree they have, to where you can not only it's a dynamic NFT to where the NFT by itself will change, but you can also combine NFTs together to make a super NFT, right? Which is what we're doing when we're throwing a pet on the hero and adding armor and weapons and enchanted items and all this other stuff. Ring. We should definitely be able to have more than one ring, Doug, on it.
One ring. Yeah. So when we look at our heroes now, so I've just been at it, busy all day, sending pets all over the place. I can't wait until Born to Die 007 works pets in this bridge and transfer tool.
Yeah.
It's like I was kind of waiting, hoping he would. I bet he's working on it. I can only imagine. And so, but it's been fun pairing up these pets. It's like strategic, which has got me now more focused. I'm just like going gangbusters this. And then next, I got to get my DFK helper squared away. But this is even helping me structure my mindset with helper and what I want to do. So,
that's another thing that's been daunting me is I'm only using helper on one account right now, but I need to put it on the rest of the accounts just because I don't have the time to be running everything.
Right.
So, but before I could do that, I need to organize my accounts because I've got the DFK helper account. Then I've got my main account, Then I've got my main account over on Klaytn. And then I also have the account where I send a bunch of heroes to mess with oh doggone it. What was one of the bot? I don't even remember the name of the bot.
The bot.
It was like the first bot created by that Greek dude who was really loud. Diffy, yes. I've moved a bunch of guys over or heroes over to an account to play with Diffy a little bit and try it out at one point, and then like didn't really like it, and just I still haven't even gone and reclaimed those heroes. They're just sitting there in that account being ignored. Like, yeah, it's bad, dude. I love this game, and I'm just neglecting it. I feel horrible.
Yeah, you know, another thing that's going on right now is we're crafting the treats, and now we have until what is it? Tomorrow night. We only have until tomorrow night, you know,
10% bonus, baby.
30 hours from now, for every 10 treats you craft, you get one free. And so I've just been curious as how the market would respond to that, and pleasantly, I mean, not pleasantly, but pleasantly, if you're trying to get in there and do that, is when we look at, so I think the best way to go, but that's one thing too. Helper is going to auto craft the treats, whatever's the cheapest combination.
Rockroot and Lantern Eye.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know. That's because of the green and blue eggs. You got to have all the green and blue egg items to pump. So that's encouraging, but it's just crazy to me that there hasn't been more hatching of eggs. So that's what's surprising. So we've got about, we're negative about 4 million tiers, and we're negative, you know, so like just a few days ago, we were up to, it's like 21 or 22 million tiers. And now we're at about 17 million or 17 to 18 million tiers.
Yep.
And then on the green eggs, okay, they have been hatching. Now, and then I'm curious too, once the pet utility actually kicks in, like I'm so curious to see how the outcome is, but I'm bullish, man. I'm so bullish on these pets. Even many of the 1-star pets, 1-star common pets are great.
I think so. They've built value into them. They built utility, right? That magic word, utility.
They really do.
The only thing in the world that gives anything value.
Yep.
Right? I mean, this pen might be worth something until it runs out of ink, and then I can't write with it, and it's worth nothing.
Right.
Because it has no more utility.
Yeah. And so some of them is not as good, you know, like the egg increased chances or you know, some of those. But
you mean egg increase it?
Yeah, like the one
the increased chance of finding an egg?
Yeah, the clutch finder. If you have a common 1-star pet, it's like a 5 to 10% increase.
But whatever, you throw it on a thief with high luck and send that sucker out, because the high luck will give you a better chance as anyways. And then you have the pet on there as well. So like,
yep.
I wouldn't say, I mean,
that's what I'm doing. That's exactly what I'm doing.
With 15, however many heroes you have, 1,500 or whatever, and you probably have a couple 300 pets, like, yeah, you've got much better pets. But for that person who's coming in and might not have millions of dollars or tons of funds to throw at it, it might be better. Hold on one sec. What's up, buddy?
Yeah. I'll mute you. It's okay. So yeah, with the egg rarity pets, it's you know, it's interesting, but the strategy on that is you want put those with your ninjas, your thieves, your high luck guys. Okay, you're unmuted now, or unless you need me to mute you again.
No, my apologies. I hit the button on my mic and I thought I muted myself. Sorry about that, bro.
You're good. You're good. You're good. So you're right. So that's exactly what I've been doing is so I'm trying to be strategic with what I'm doing with the pets. And it's fun, but still yet it's like, that is like, and the rune one, but the rune one will really, especially the common 1-star runes and eggs, not super sexy, but man, when you hit the skilled ones, even the 1-star, and you're getting like 10 to 15 added profession skill automatically. Ooh.
But I mean, so that might be something you want to move around, right? I mean, because once you get your hero up to a skill of 20, or if they're on level 10 level 10 quests, a skill of or level of 30 for that profession, you're going to want to take that pet off because it's a waste and put it on one of your other heroes, right?
Well,
so
this
might be
that you're talking about the astute one. The astute one, yes. The skilled one, it just adds the 10.
Oh, yeah.
So it takes it from 21 to 31, or 41 or 51, which is mind-blowing.
It really is. Like that
is mind-blowing. But yes, the astute one, and that seems to be a real common one, and that's like the floor. But that's great for a low-level hero.
Mm-hmm. Then you level it up and move it over to another hero, and then you slap that 1 star on that hero that you just leveled all the way up. That's kind of at a holding pattern, right?
Yep. And so, but I have so many of those astute ones, and I don't even want to try and sell them because there's so many,
right,
for sale. So I just keep throwing them on because I am up over 2,000 heroes, and I don't even know how many pets, but it's probably about 1,500 pets or something like that.
That's insane.
Yeah,
the pet master. Grady's opening a zoo, y'all.
Yep.
He got divorced and he bought a zoo. There's a movie about it.
Yep. The innate angler one does not excite me at all, but there's rumors flying around. We keep hearing that, hey, it might really be huge. So the floor on those are very high and they're pretty rare. But I did hit like 3 or 4 mythics that has that, and it's like, so anyways, so with these pet crafting, okay, I'm realizing a little bit, it's like, whoa, the pet crafting for all these 2,000 heroes. Yeah, for 1 hero, it's nothing to get a premium treat, but for 2,000 heroes, that is a lot of gold, a lot of items. And so I think the best way to go when you're crafting these things is to go with the speckle tail and the nap root. And I keep buying it up, and then it comes right back down. So you can buy those speckle tail and nap root, and it's right there in the green pretty much. And then you can burn. That's what I'm using to craft away all my treats.
Nice.
Yeah.
Better do it quick now. You just gave your secret sauce away, or they're going to run the cost up on that and it won't be worth it.
We already talked about that, but like you compare it to all those other treats, man, and they're all way high.
Right.
And you don't want to do the higher valued ones at all. So you want to do the lower valued treats. And,
well, now hold on.
Do a higher valued one, the 3-eyed eel is another good one. What's that?
Right? If you have to buy them right now, you might not want to spend that money. But if you already have them, you've made good money this week, that's a way to like tax harvest, right? Because you're utilizing something that's more expensive instead of using something that's cheaper. So you're consuming it at a higher cost, where those things that are cheap now will be more expensive later.
Yeah.
Speculating, right?
Hopefully, you're probably better off selling it into gold or something, or selling it into jewel even, and then buying the speckle tail. Especially, obviously, you don't want to use swift thistle, okay? And you don't want milkweed. You really don't want to be using any of those. Now, the 3-eyed eel, that's also a good one because that is only worth 50 gold. Now, when crafting comes out and stuff, and we need that 3-eyed eel, it could potentially be more like a swift thistle, So
right. And again, listen to Bolin, right? Don't ape into broken mechanics, right? If we're talking about it right now, they're listening, or they may have already had this conversation and they're just waiting to see if it's going to happen. And if so, they'll nerf, right? They will nerf. They've said that already.
Yeah,
so
you mean like
if you're going to do something like that, then you want to do the short term, like maybe sell those things that are really high now and use all your other, like you said, into gold or jewel, and then use the ones that are super cheap, because those ones are probably going to go up over time. Whereas you're not really losing as much now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's definitely different ways to speculate on this, and that is what it is. I mean, everybody listening, this is all speculation. We don't know anything more than you do. We're just kind of paying attention and trying to figure out, reverse engineer this, and try to figure out how to get advantage, right?
Yep.
So that we can make sure we're winning.
Yep. I am crafting away, baby.
Hell yeah.
I'm realizing, and I actually had some more liquidity with gold and items.
Price impact. You just moved that 6.5% almost.
Yeah, I know. And I'll do that every so often, and it goes right back down to where you could either go with the vendor or with the, see, I follow this pretty close. The Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms, the market data page is just a game changer. And so when you go all the way to the side, anything in red, you never want to sell in the vendor. You always want to sell that with the trader. Anything in red, especially, you know, if it's not at 1%, it doesn't matter, you know, like this one,
right?
That one. Okay.
That bottom one at 85% or 86%.
Yeah.
85-51.
All of these are way up.
Yep.
All of them until you get to the new items here in Crystal Vale.
Huh.
And so that's where I'm saying you don't want to be, you want to be dumping all this stuff and selling it on the trader and then buy, like do what I just did. Because look, I've just moved the markets. And then the 3 ideal at the moment is another good one probably to use, because the 3 ideal is only worth 50 gold in the vendor, and it reflects that it's only worth 50 gold in the trader. Okay. And so it's worth less, but it's counted the same as, you know, the 100 gold King Pincer.
Mm-hmm. So that's the key right there. Cue in on how much things are worth and use the ones that are least expensive.
Yeah.
If you're trying to maximize your earnings.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the reverse opposite, if you want to like find ways to reduce costs, reduce taxable income, rather, not costs.
Yeah. Yeah. So interesting. And you want to be sure you do everything in Crystal Vale, but I'm surprised we haven't seen these other items pump. So I'm not paying a premium. See, if everything pumped up too much, I wouldn't be paying a premium to craft these treats, right?
Right.
But because these things are still way down, and gold is kind of, I think, where gold is going to be, you know, it might go down. Who knows?
It's all going to fluctuate unless or until someone comes in and drops a massive liquidity pool on top of that. It's going to move a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, up and
the
down.
pools are not that deep.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And so it's like it was Amber Taffy was always like super cheap, but not anymore. Even Amber Taffy's up. So that's wow. Been so surprising. And so what I just bought, I can do, and I always only do it by divisible of 10s. I can now buy 1,340. Oh, no.
So you can almost feed your pets for a week.
Hang on. Actually, 336 premium pets is what I can get, baby. Let's go.
If you put the power up on your heroes, then you can feed what, like a 7th of them for a week?
With that? What I just did?
You said you. Oh wait, no, you only had like 1,500 pets. I was thinking you had over 2,000, but that's heroes. Not
but see, I want a pet for every hero. I want a pet for every single. And as long as everything stays this cheap, I mean, that's what I'm doing.
Yep.
I'm going pet every hero, baby.
Heck yeah! I am hoarding my mats. Like I have lots of materials. I have not been selling any mats. I've been buying tiers. I bought them when they were cheaper, thank goodness, because I need a lot. When we first started talking about, like, well, you started talking about how we don't have enough gold, we don't have enough tiers, it's gonna spike. I was like, okay, I've got a bunch of eggs, green eggs and yellow eggs. Let me buy a bunch of tiers now, because Grady's on the money on that one, I think. So I'm glad I did.
As long as, see, that's where I'm kind of saying I'm surprised the sentiment, like it, you know, I'm surprised there aren't more people wanting to hatch the eggs and have the pets.
Who was there? Was somebody that did a stream. Might have been the Brown Gent, actually.
Yeah.
who advised against it unless you have like tons or you have like mythic level luck. He said what he's doing is every time he gets an egg, he sells it off because the chances that he hatches an egg that he really wants are slim. So he's going to sell it off and then go buy the pet that
he buys the pets, and
so that he can pick it.
The brown gent, see, he didn't think that the 1-star common pets would be worth it owning, and even the mythic squad, a lot of people. But I think what we've seen is for your questing army, that's just there for mats.
I mean, honestly,
some of them are very good. Those 1-star common pets, if you hit on some of those, like the right skill, it's like wowzers.
Truth. And I mean, even Frisky said a while ago, when we were talking about pets and will they all be blah, 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 will they all be worth it? He made the comment that it made it seem like he said with heroes at one point, where he's like, Meh. I mean, some of them might not be awesome, implying that some of them might not really be worth it. So there was a lot of speculation there as to whether or not those 1-star pets are actually going to be like the balancing factor. Because if you think about it, everything can't be amazing, right? In time, as we grow, once we get to like that adoption where we've got people coming in to buy heroes just so they can play the PvP and they're not playing the full game and they're just spending money for entertainment. Like things are going to change a bit. It's not going to be the same. We'll see a lot of shifting. Just in values and where people see value and what they value. I think it's going to be huge, which is, again, why I think those crafting heroes are going to be amazing.
That grows a whole nother
skill crafting.
Yeah. So you might have a what you thought was a throwaway hero that turns out being a monster crafter.
And the beauty of it is, bro, and I've said it before, one of the greatest things about this team is that they are masters at gamifying the speculation, right? It's really cool watching them work and the way that they see, okay, well, this doesn't really have value, so we're going to do this to give that aspect of it value. They're building an amazing economy. And I don't know how many people even really respect how truly complex this economy is and the fact that they're making it all work. It's amazing. It is a feat unto itself.
Yep. iOS Code is thinking the level 10 quest won't come or will come next week at the soonest. They're still wrapping up the smart contract code and have not started testing it. Okay.
I think there will be as well.
A lot of testing for pet utility. That makes sense. What was weird was they were talking today like they had already done it last week, like it was past tense. It was specifically on the questing diamond contracts, like the new V3 questing.
Well, that was the diamond contracts, though, right? That was when they moved it back to that. I don't know that means. I mean, a lot of those are core contracts. So, real quick, excuse me. Sorry about that. When you're developing software like this, again, I'm not a developer, but I know enough to get myself in trouble and work with developers and speak their language to a degree. A lot of time what they do is called object-oriented programming, right? So where like you send somebody on a quest or a profession quest, one of your heroes, and there's all sorts of different sub-objects that get called during that. You might have 5 or 6 different pieces of code that you interact with on mining, and then on gardening, it's 5 or 6 different pieces of code. It calls the right ones and put them together, right? So what they did, I believe, is a lot of the core stuff, right? But that doesn't mean that everything else is built on top of it yet, right? The core objects that they need to be moved over to Diamond to reduce the fees have been moved over. But those Diamond contracts are like standards, right? Those are something that is used in a lot of different projects, which is why they created those Diamond contracts and pre-compiled them and included them in the code. So that way it can reduce transfer the transaction costs.
Yeah.
But I mean, the specific stuff to the game is probably not going to be a Diamond code. Again, this is where we're reaching the limit of my knowledge. So I could be wrong there. iOS Code or some of the other devs, feel free to correct me, please, so that we can all get smarter if I just said that way wrong. But I think that's what it was. They updated all the diamond contracts, so now they're ready to start building the game-specific stuff on top of it. Again, I could be wrong there, but that's my understanding.
Okay.
And why I think iOS code is probably on track there.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a little bit longer than you expect.
Yeah, they did talk about they ran into a little bug this week that set them back a little bit, but they got through it, and then boom, it's going, and it's going good. It popped out last night, this new update. So fun. Yeah, premium pet treats provide an extra 2% XP. That's why I'm premium all the way.
Yep.
How about you? You do save a little bit of money by not going premium.
But
yeah,
do you? Because then you got to buy stamp pots,
right?
To get your hero to the same level in the same amount of time.
That's right. And they said, I think Zelly's guesstimated it like saves about a week per year is all that 2XP does. Like on a level or something.
Right.
Forgot what but still, man, with all these XP, I want to get as much XP boost as possible. I've got the power up on all my wallets and just level these heroes up as fast as possible. And the pet feeding, I really think the team did a good job on all of this. Putting out, they could have maybe done a couple things better, but we don't know all the ins and outs necessarily, like with the one that changes the profession gene, like maybe it will turn out being big. So they did a good job of not making it too expensive to feed the pets. It's cheap to feed the pets. It's cheap. So that to get any extra XP, feed them, to me is a no-brainer, right? It's like you're just saving a minuscule amount by not doing the premium pets is my thought. So
I mean, just usually when they build something in like that, if there's a higher tier, it's usually better. Not always, but across games, in my experience over the past few years in blockchain games, if there's an option that's more expensive, it's designed to be better than the lesser one. So again, we don't even know what we don't know. So it might only be 2% here, but it might interact with something else in a different way. I mean, so what is the effect of having a premium versus a regular in combat? Do we know that? Will you get a boost in combat as well, possibly, because your pet is stronger?
That's a good point. That's a good point. Okay, so Sir Worm here is saying, okay, so the iron scale, Sir Worm, and the lantern eye cost for a premium or for a regular pet treat is 5 for iron scale, but it's only 4 for Naproot, and it's only 4 for Speckletail.
Mm-hmm.
Now Amber Taffy is only 3, and so when you look at the Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms chart here, we got, and I'm going to refresh it because it changes rapidly. Doesn't take much. Okay, so when
I would love to throw out. I don't know who runs this, but you do. A suggestion: have them lock the top row like you can with an Excel spreadsheet, so that even as you scroll down, you can still see all the labels.
I know, right? I think part of the problem is on a phone. It's tricky.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So even with Amber Taffy is up in the red. So from what I can see here, you can sell, but Amber Taffy does only cost 3. For some reason, I thought it was the same price, Amber Taffy. But with this 14 in the red, whereas the Naproot, the Speckletail is green, it's like, I think those are the 2 best ones, but Amber Taffy is definitely one to consider. But definitely not Rockroot, Iron Scale, Lantern Eye, or the Blue Stem. Definitely not the Blue Stem, right?
Right.
The Blue Stem is at a premium right now.
Is it?
Let's double check. And the Spider Fruit, you don't want to mess with those because They're really at a premium. Where is the blue stem? Hello. Oh, it was right in front of me. Yeah, the blue stem is at a major premium. So when you go to the vendor with the blue stem, let's just show you here. So when you come to the vendor and you want to sell your blue stem, it's worth 5 gold. Okay. When you come to the trader, the blue stem, let's take a look here. BLUE. And you want to get gold. I'm going to do it till 10. Okay. It's worth, one blue stem is 12.5 gold on the trader. And so, and then when you look at, let's take a look. So it's like more than it's worth more than twice as much to sell it on the trader. And so in the blue stem, it costs 4 still, whereas the nap root also costs 4. Let's double check this here. Nap root 1, and then in gold, if I want to do 10. Oh, hey, blue stem is cheaper.
There you go.
About the same.
Today.
All
of these will vary.
That is surprising.
Actually. That's why I'm sitting on all my mats.
Right?
Because as they create more utility like this, the value of those mats is just going to go up over time.
Right. Okay. And so, right, it costs the same amount in Lantern Eye and Iron Scale. So hang on. Let's take it. I'm double checking. Maybe Sir Worm is right. Maybe he's right. Iron Scale, for example, if we want to go gold, we want 10. Ooh. Sir Worm, you're right. You're right. He's right.
So is.
He is correct.
Proof on screen.
Proof on is with the pudding there.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Don't doubt the worm.
Here. I am so surprised by that. That it makes more sense why the charts are the way they are now. Because I kept thinking to myself, if Naproot, but I guess these are worth less in the vendor. Why did I think they were worth the same amount in the vendor? I guess I thought like
you're a silly little game. Why did you think they were the same amount in the vendor?
Yeah, that is surprising. I guess they're only worth 5 in the vendor, the Iron Scale and the Lantern Eye. So that's what it would just kept surprising me. But yeah, exactly what I just did was the wrong move. Interesting.
Uh-huh.
But hey, it's made it very bullish for those items. Yeah. Sir Worm, you're on the money here. I should not, or Sir Mer, not Sir Worm, Sir Mer. Paying a premium for those premium treats. Yep, you're right. Would be cheaper to buy them on the decks. Yeah, and that's what I just did.
That was Sir Mer.
Yeah.
Oops.
So that is because let me just double check one thing real quick. Are these only 5 in the vendor? Yeah, they are. All those. Whereas the dark weed is 10, but the rock root's only 5, the Lantern Eye is 5, the Iron Scale's 5.
Okay.
What threw me off because I thought they were like apples to apples items. That's so I didn't. So I just glanced at this real quick, thinking that Naproot was an apples to apples item, for example, to rock root, but it's not. It's worth double.
Yeah. So a question. I'm honestly being distracted a little bit right now. I got 2 screens up and a little Discord message notification popped up. Somebody taking a quiz in the Unity Guild. Have you seen the crazy quizzes they got going on over there?
I have, but not lately. What do they have going lately?
I'm just looking right now. It's like they're on question 10, and it's just you go through and you answer the question. Each question has 4 possible answers, multiple guesses, and you select it and go through it. It tells you the right one. So if you pick the wrong one, you can learn as you go through them. I don't know. They're doing some cool stuff over there. I really need to link back up with them. I was talking with them for a while there, and I kind of disappeared on them. Apologies on that, Nani, and everyone else. But I definitely need to link back up with that.
Yeah,
they're doing some cool stuff.
I think they're planning on doing one for Dragons Crossing, where you can go in there and take the quiz, answer all these Dragons Crossing questions, and whoever gets the most right, wins the whitelist spot, stuff like that.
That's pretty cool.
Is
it?
With
the education side.
I know. So, hey, today there was a guy who gave me a shout out on the beginners video. Okay. And he's back into DeFi Kingdoms again. And he's got like 6,500 followers on Twitter. He gave me this big shout out for doing this DeFi Kingdoms for Beginners series.
Nice. Well, dude, it's epic. And it was very much needed.
So needed. I don't know if it's epic, but it did inspire me. Okay, I'm going to crank it out there because I'm just going to crank it out. So
it's amazing, bro. You put a lot of really good information. Did it like tweak me a little bit and make me want to create my own? Yeah, you did kind of inspire me. So maybe we'll see like 5 people create their own right now. And you started that trend because you did it. You finally did it and put that beginner's tutorial set out there. And now you're going to see people go, I don't like the way you did that. I bet I could do it better. Or like instead of the 10-minute 10 series, it's going to be the 9-minute 9 show series, right? You remember those stupid like diet things where it was like, oh, it's the 7-day diet. No, it's the 6-day diet. Now it's the 5-day diet.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, no doubt.
Yeah. It's hard to get and I got all my thumbnails ready to go now. So
hell yeah.
It's hard to get all the information condensed enough. Like I want to keep it simple. But I also want to give them the alpha at the same time. So that's like the tug and pull.
Oh, you can't though, because then it gets too long, right?
I know, right?
There's so much alpha to give. There's so much to teach. You almost need to like sit down and break it down and do like lesson plans. At least this is what stopped me from doing it, because I'm with you. There's so much you want to say about every aspect when you talk about it, but it's like you need to create like the beginners series, the advanced series, and the expert series, right?
Yeah. Good thought. That's a good thought. It's just like the time and effort it takes. But yeah, so I'll probably end up doing this 3 of 10, redoing it.
No doubt. We always look at stuff and want to make it better. That's natural. That doesn't mean it's not awesome, brother. It is. Mad respect and mad kudos for what you've begun creating. Just
like George, it's George that helped put the fuel in the fire for me to do these, because it is so needed. A year ago, there was so many beginners videos all over the place for DeFi Kingdoms. Now, nothing.
Well, a year ago, it was pretty basic. It wasn't hard to do. You could get it all in one 30-minute video.
No, but diving deep into the hero stats and this and that, like there were some good ones out there. There's just a lot of YouTubers putting out content on the game.
Yep. And
so we need to be focused on that.
Well, it's a bear market. People went away.
Yeah.
It happens. I mean, they'll come back, though, and I agree with you 100%. Now is the time where we should be identifying this stuff and building it out, so that way when the bull market comes, we're not going, why isn't anybody coming here? They're all going to those other games that have really good tutorials. We get here. We got to build these out and prep for the next bull market, so that way as people do start coming in and adoption gets closer, it's an easy onboarding process because people aren't scared, intimidated. They can go watch a series of videos, binge it out in a day, and they know most of what they need to know.
Right. And then when I'm done with all of them, I'm also going to do one video with all of them, where it's just all right there for the people that want to binge the whole thing.
Would that be better done with a playlist though? It's
already created. So I want to figure out how to make the playlist like featured on here. But it is right here, DeFi Kingdoms Beginner Series.
Nice.
Yep. But how do you I think Kong was working on it, how to make it like that's what shows up when you come to my YouTube. Oh, it is. It's right here.
It is, but I don't. Can you do that manually? Like I thought that was just activity based. That was all based on an algorithm.
You can do it manually. It's kind of a
Really?
pain, but yeah, when you come in here, whatever, somewhere in the content section or something somewhere, and I always forget.
That's probably it right there. I see the little check marks under videos and the different tabs. That makes sense.
Yeah, see, you can change your video spotlight. Here's the featured video for returning subscribers, and then featured sections right here is where it's added.
Nice.
Beginner series. Yeah. It's in the customization section. And so it's so important because, you know, George is helping me with the channel and he's saying, Grady, you need to focus on the SEO, search engine optimization. What are people searching for? Like, what do people want?
Yep.
He showed me, we broke down all the analytics and everything. And he showed me that on my channel, DeFi Kingdoms has brought in like 0 SEO searches. Nobody's searching for DeFi Kingdoms. And he's like, this thing's dead, Grady. Like, you got to get off this. And so I was being creative. I was trying to be creative on how I can hit the SEO, bring people in, and then give them the hook, you know, with some of these different projects, DeFi Kingdoms, and Dragons Crossing, and stuff like that. That's why I did some of the ones I was doing. Like, what is DeFi? Is DeFi dead? How can DeFi sustain itself? And decentralized finance. Like, I put all that in the title. So if anybody searches anything DeFi, boom. And then how can you sustain it? Boom. DeFi Kingdoms, the earning token. What do we need it for? That's what you got to look for. You know, that was my whole thought process behind that.
Is that how the SEO works, though? Is it because I thought you could put keywords down in the description and that would trigger it just as well? It didn't all have to be in the title, but I did not verify that. That was an assumption.
It is. That's true. The description can play in, but it's mostly just nowadays. It's just the title.
Gotcha. Good to know.
Yeah, totally. It's all in the title. And so working on all of this. And so I'm like, okay, I know for one, I need to put this out. We need a beginner series. You know, even Jet had said that to me.
Hondo.
Yep. The crypto gym Jet. And so it was funny because he asked Dreamer, and Dreamer sent him Sandwich Punches beginners, you know, and then he asked me, Jet asked me, and I sent him the same thing. Sandwich Punches. This beginner's guide is the best. It's so thorough and awesome. ABCs walks you right through.
So there you go, brother. Like, why reinvent the wheel? Turn that into a video. I bet Sandwich will let you. And
I could turn this into about 100 videos.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's the story right there.
How
do we break that down into three different?
A beginner series 1 through 100.
No.
I mean, right?
Unless they're 2 or 3 minute videos.
In depth. This thing's so in depth. Are you kidding me?
You could do it.
But I mean, I'm following essentially the same thing. It's just he just has it spelled out in a really well organized way.
Isn't he a lawyer?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, very, very organized like that and very eloquent with his words. Makes complete sense.
Yep. Okay, man. Well, I'm bullish. I'm bullish on the fundamentals of the project. The team's not going anywhere. They're just grinding right on through. They don't listen to the noise.
Right. So not showing how the sausage is made, but he kind of did. What we need everybody to do every day, once a day, just search for DFK. Search for it on YouTube, search for it on Twitter, and search for it on your web browser. Just one quick search for in each platform. It'll help.
Well, George is just saying people aren't searching for that, like wanting to come into the game. And if anything, more people have been going out the back door. Now, lately, we have seen some good numbers.
So when you say that people aren't searching for it, what do you mean?
What I mean is there isn't like new people searching about DeFi Kingdoms. It's not a topic. Whereas
understood, but let me drill a little deeper. How did you find that out?
they'll search for, because you can get all the analytics on your YouTube channel.
There you go. So if we had 100 people from DeFi Kingdoms every day doing a search for DFK,
yeah, but that's not going to help anything.
Why would it not? They're doing the searches. It'll hit the algorithm.
Okay, but
so then when Jet searches for it, he's going to go, oh, people are searching for it.
Well, if someone searches for it, he's not saying that it won't pop up if someone searches for it. That's not the problem.
Right.
The problem is people aren't searching for it. And so
the problem is VCs check for things like that. Right? The big whales out there will look at things like that when they're doing their research, because you don't have the standard investors tools that you do, like with the stock market, where you have the earnings sheets and all this other stuff that's being put out. So they're having to get creative, and they're doing things like looking and seeing how much interest in there, how many people are searching for this. Trick the algorithm, y'all. That's all it is.
Here's what the VCs look at first and foremost.
Yeah.
They look at the chart.
Correct. And that chart, when you spread it out,
is what they see.
Okay, that doesn't look sexy. It looked a lot sexier when it was a little bit smaller.
They say
go to like 1 year.
So this is what George sends me a screenshot of this, texts it to me. He says, Grady, no one's out there searching for DeFi Kingdoms. And so I do think at times the ecosystem and the team has been, even I would say, dangerously naive at times. Like, so if I'm trying to spread the word, I'm out there trying to spread the word about the project DeFi Kingdoms. Okay. So then I turn someone on, George, or Crypto Lifer, and some of these different people, and this is what they see. And they're like, this doesn't have a whole lot of activity. Now,
well, those aren't the type of people we want getting in anyways.
Yes, they are.
They're just going to dump on us when the price goes up. They're not actually taking the time to learn about the game.
Sure.
We're traders. Traders create volatility. Volatility doesn't help us. We want people to come in who are actually going to play the game, who are going to stay here and continue buying the token and buying the heroes and playing the game. That's who we want. We want people like George and Jet to talk about it, yes, and Lifer, which means that is going to put them off from talking about it. But there's other ways to do it, right? I mean, we have a very small community in crypto right now.
Well,
it's going to grow.
And that's what I've been telling George. It's this diehard, awesome, hardcore community. And he's like, then he looks at this chart. This is the 1 month. You can look at the 3 month. It doesn't look any better. The 3 month chart for Bitcoin is strong. For Ethereum, strong. The 3 month chart for DeFi Kingdoms, not so strong.
Right.
And so we've seen people going out the back door, like people even like Rock, who was on the channel the other night, saying, hey, I'm barely hanging on. He's about to give up, is what he was trying to say. He's about to give up on the project. And I personally hear that on a fairly regular basis. And so,
I mean, that's honestly, it's part of the market. That's a bear market mentality. People are looking at everything and they're getting upset, and something's pumping. So they dump out of their products to get in that thing that's pumping, and they chase that pump, and then they buy into the top, and then dumps on them. Like, those people are not going to win in the long run, in my mind. I mean, granted, you got to cut your loss at some point. Everybody has their own situation, and I'm not saying that everybody should be diamond handing. But yeah, Umar is right there. The tokenomics are where it's at right now, not the surface stuff, not that chart. That's bovine scatology, and it does not reflect what's going on with this project.
Right.
I mean, worst case scenario, I could see someone coming along and propping DeFi Kingdoms up, giving them like another 6 months worth of funds to run the game and keep developing. This game there's too many people in it, in my mind. Maybe I'm wrong there.
The team isn't as good on funds. The team doesn't need funds. Now, they could use more funds if they wanted to hire more people and do more things and do more of this and that. Yes, but the team is totally set because Dreamer has it all organized out to where they're good for, he even said, over 3 years. Over 3 years.
Through the next bull market. And will we hit another all-time high in the next bull market? I don't know. That's a long way to go to $22. Let's be real. Is it possible?
I believe this could go up to $100. But but we have to get
Not in
traction.
the next bull market, though. I think that's going to take time because we got to burn a lot of jewel and create even more use case for it to really go that high. I think I could be wrong. I'm trying to be conservative here and not hype people up too much on
I
it.
think
It is
$100
possible,
Jewel, it's like barely even $1 billion market cap. It's like we could do that easy. Wouldn't take that much to get to $100. It's just like it's so hard to get traction when I spend all this time trying to get influencers and people onto DeFi Kingdoms, and they just look at me like I'm crazy. And even in this recent time period, we see even when as other things have been pumping, you know, we see it coming down, and I'm just like, what is going on? And then I see things like even internally now, the ROI on the hero is great at the moment, you know, as long as tiers hold up the way they have been. But it's like if we don't see these eggs being hatched and pets being used, and we see hard dumping and stuff, that can be concerning for me. Not that not that it's gonna matter, because I'm ride or die, baby.
right?
I'm just saying.
Honestly, like I don't care about the influencers right now. They'll come on board when we start moving. If we want to really go, we need two things. We need a team to keep developing. They got the funds, like you just said, to keep doing that. So it's going to keep getting better over time. And as things get easier, i.e., I'm talking about blockchain DLT in general here, as it becomes easier for a no coiner to take their debit card and buy some crypto with it on whatever chain they want to interact with whatever game they want, and they don't even really have to know what chain it is, right? When we start getting there, it's not going to matter what the people and these influencers think, because they're not the people that we're going to be playing. They're not the people that are going to be spending their money to occupy themselves playing this game, right? They're just not who it's going to be. The only thing those influencers are going to do right now is create an artificial pump, and they will dump on us because they're looking for their, when they buy in, they already, if they're good, they already have their exit planned, and they're going to be a big exit if they're a big whale. Right. So I understand that a lot of people put all this onus on the influencers, and it is good because it helps spread the word. Right.
Yeah, just helps
secondary effect.
Yeah.
But they're also the people that are, I mean, it's, you look at all the dexes out there, right? You see a pattern, massive liquidity on the first week. By the end of week 2 or week 3, the project's like been dumped on. We didn't see that initially. Right. And because we're gamers, we're not just here to dex. We're here for the long run. And we understand that it's not going to be an overnight pop making us rich. It's going to take time, and the team needs to build, and they have the funds to build. That's the important part. So you trust in the team and you believe in crypto. Do you think in 3 years, is this going to be feature rich enough to where people are really interested? Because I do. Yeah. That's what it all comes down to. If you don't, you should probably be getting out, looking at something that you do believe is going to be in a good place then. And I'm just being real. Like, do I want you to get out of DeFi Kingdoms? No. Do I think it's the right move? No. I'm mad that I have to sell as much as I do to pay my damn bills. I'm trying to figure out how to not do that more. Yeah. But it is what it is. The market's trash and everything's low, and I should not have quit my job. When I quit my job is the bottom line. It screwed me. And I don't know. I think that good things are coming, y'all. It's just a matter of time and patience. Patience. All markets are tools to move funds from the impatient to the patient. I probably horribly misquoted, but that was a very brilliant man, Mr. Warren Buffett. I don't agree with him on a lot, but that is for sure true. Yeah.
And then, I mean, that's just, I'm ride or die on this point. As I look at the fundamentals of a project and the core values of the team, that's what I look at. And maybe I'm wrong. And because we see like what Pepe coin just has done,
that's not sustainable.
And it's like Pepe market cap, even still, everyone's saying how hard it dumped. Well, Pepe is still probably like what, a 500x or something of what market cap of what DeFi Kingdoms is right now.
If you're looking for a massive return in a short period of time, my best recommendation, go to ordinals.
Yeah, I keep hearing about ordinals.
Bro, it's they put a layer 2 on Bitcoin, and now they're dropping NFTs on Bitcoin, it's going to pop. I guarantee it.
Yeah. And then what do you think of Stacks? I know Stacks has been around for a long time, and they're like the most kind of reputable within that realm, like trying to build on Bitcoin.
Right, creating a layer 2. I think that everybody creating layer 2s on Bitcoin is probably a smart move. I'm not saying like dump everything and get into that because you're going to win, because you won't. I'm speculating right now.
Yeah,
This is not financial advice. This is
speculation.
Matt's personal opinion.
Yeah.
So make sure you're doing your research and checking with other people and reading some stuff and learning what the hell I'm talking about. If you don't know, don't just do something because I said to, because that's on you. And that's probably not a smart move. I am not a genius, and I do not always make good calls. Take a look at all the dumbass NFTs I bought trying to find a good community for us to land in post Harmony.
Yeah.
Definitely made a lot of mistakes there.
Yeah. Umar, I've told George like over and over again, the tokenomics of Joule, it's deflationary, it's circulating and all this and that. And then George is like, and community strong, this and that. And he just keeps like, no, there's something wrong with the tokenomics here. It's
yeah, you don't understand them. Not you, he.
I know. He was just trying to make the point to me
that it's crashing hard.
Is that he likes the project and the team. He's just concerned. He's like, are you sure this thing's really surviving? I can tell you right now, no one's searching. No one's out there. You know, what's going on with this DeFi Kingdoms? There's no buzz going on about it. And most of the time, when you're going into your second bull cycle, now it's not really their full second bull cycle. They came in right at the end of the last, right? They got that last little surge of the bull run.
Yeah, like
right at the end of that bull run. And so it's not like they had the full bull run.
Right.
And most of the time when you hit the second bull run, hardly any projects really truly survive. So
that's because they don't have the runway, right? They don't plan for most projects in this space historically. And remember, we're only a few cycles deep, so there's not a lot of lessons to go off of. A lot of projects don't come in, and a lot of projects are led by developers. They don't have the full team like DFK does, where you've got a freaking economist who was a banker. Like, this dude knows how to run an economy and keep a project alive. That's why they've got funds going out 3 years. They've got a runway.
Right.
A lot of projects don't save enough money or pull it out of their token and put it into something stable to give themselves that kind of runway, which is why they don't survive. And that's true for layer ones as well, not just games. Like, we're in an innovative space that is predominantly developers, right? You don't have all of the other economists and market makers in there, the people that really understand the economy side of it or the marketing side in many cases. But DFK understands all that, which is why, in my opinion, it's one of the few that I can not pay attention to DeFi Kingdoms, and I don't worry about it because I know that 6 months, a year from now, 2 years from now, we're going to be in a great place.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, the community wants to cry if we're at the bottom of a bull market and we're not doing enough marketing because the price isn't high enough. Like, whatever. I don't care. I've seen this before. Like, we'll get there. The team is ready. The team is able. The team is not just that, but they are doing what they love, and they have the money to last.
Yep. So the team's grinding. They're not going to stop. They're not listening to all the noise. They're just keeping their head down and working, grinding. That's what I look for. That's just fundamentally speaking. And so bullish. I'm bullish. I'm going to get a pet for every hero and keep on grinding right on through, baby. Going to keep going. And other good things going too. I can't wait for the TV show Next Crypto Gym to come out.
Not worried. As much as you're talking about how what's his nuts George was not like happy about it, I wonder how well it's going to do in the show. I hope they don't trash it. I mean, all publicity is good publicity, so people will hear the name and people will start searching about it. And I mean, it was
definitely won't trash it. So I know that they're not going to trash any of those projects. Now, they are going to ask the hard questions. So if you've watched, notice how George has passed on every single project on his FOMO or past show. But he's better now at not throwing shade at the projects, even though he passes. So I think it'll be kind of like that, to where, he's not overly negative about the process. And especially on this show, that's like one of Jet's mantras. He wants to help promote crypto projects out there and be a blessing. Hey, I think it's bullish, but also for the weight token, lots of good things going. So I've got some videos that I'm prepping for that as well. I've been talking with Jet, baby.
I wish I had more, but I'm sitting on my stack. It's off in the freezer as a rainy day fund. Yep.
Same. So with that, same thing. And then lots of good things going on with Dragon's Crossing. We got the mint coming up.
Yeah, buddy.
I'll be
17th, right?
Yep. It's the 27th. So 27th. Next week, I'll be cranking out a lot of Dragon's Crossing content. I want to get this, though. I'm going to get all 10 and maybe a bonus video or two done. Might end up with 12. We might do 10 of 10 and then 11, 11 and 12 of 12. So I don't want them too long. So I'm going to get this done, focused on that. And then
you could always break it up too. Like if, let's say for Heroes, you want to talk for 40 minutes about Heroes, do like episode 8.1 and 8.2 to where it's 2 20-minute videos on Heroes or something like that.
Yep. Yeah. I like it. Yeah.
Holy crap. We've been jamming a long time.
Yes. All right. I love you, man. How's it going with Mind Games? Good stuff. How's Mind Games doing?
Similar situation. We're in a building phase and people are getting impatient, but the team is there and they're building, and I don't know, they've got a pretty cool little game. I'm now more excited about DeFi Kingdoms, to be honest. But that's true with pretty much all of the projects I'm in. Like, I don't, aside from like Bitcoin and Ethereum, like on a project level, there is not another project out there that excites me more than DeFi Kingdoms that I think has more promise. Point blank, period.
Point blank. I'm with you.
Hundo.
Yes. Hundo. Facts.
Facts. Yes. All right.
Okay, man. Okay, mainly. Yeah, a lot of YouTube. That's why they clickbait. But I have to I try to do clickbait, but it has to stay true. Has to be true clickbait for me.
Well,
okay.
Yeah. One way you could do that is do like before you post your video, do a search on YouTube and or Google or an analytics search to find out what like the 3 most searched for words are, and then put your title and just put those 3 words at the end of the title. So that way, as people search for those, the DeFi Kingdoms thing pops up.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. That is an interesting thought.
Just a thought.
But then they won't click on it, so they'll pass through it, which also hurts on the algorithm. Yeah, DFK Twitter. That is so the community is still like I have to mute some of these tweets because it's freaking blowing up all day long.
Right.
DFK Twitter is just blowing up all the time. So I don't know. I mean, if I was somebody on the outside looking in, I'd want to at least dive in and check it out. I'm just surprised there isn't more of that. But I am pumped, to see some of the feedback that's hit, even though those videos are not the best. The beginner series, I'm just going to crank them out and get them done. That way they're there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And wait, you said the feedback's not the best? I need to go back and look at that.
Well, no, I said that. What did I say? No, I've gotten some good feedback.
Oh, okay, cool.
I have gotten some negative feedback. I have definitely gotten some.
Really,
I don't listen to the noise on Twitter.
Good.
That are haters at all.
Yep. Because the haters gonna hate, and that's how you know you're getting big is when you start getting haters.
Yeah. And I've had a few people say, "Hey, man, Grady, we need to do professional content. We really need to do this to help salvage this game." I have had, and someone said these aren't quite up to par, or whatever. I've had awesome. And I'm like, I know, I just don't have the resources right now.
No, just turn around and ask them to see their videos.
Yeah, right.
Let me see what you did to help, bro. Aside from criticizing me, I mean, I appreciate constructive criticism, but if they're just gonna like attack and be like, it's not good enough, man, you need to do it my way. Be like, bro,
Like
I'll
we
help you
need
do
to
it your way if you want, but you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Not me.
But when I see new people watching them and then giving me good feedback, ooh, that's what will inspire me to finish them. Yeah. And it did this morning. Seeing that Twitter guy, 6,500 followers, giving DeFi Kingdoms a big shout out. And he's like, I quested for the first time on Crystal Vale. And he like does a video on it. I'm like, hell yeah, more videos to come.
Yes, bro. Those are epic. Like, are they perfect? No. But nothing in life is perfect. You're not God, nor am I.
Yeah.
So nothing you create will be. There's always going to be room for improvement. That doesn't mean it doesn't have massive value. What you're creating does.
Yes.
I'm excited. I am excited to watch the next 7. Like,
yeah,
I don't.
One of these days,
I'm pretty sure
we'll put out like real first class DeFi Kingdom series for beginners, just like you said, for intermediate, and then for experts.
Yeah, but that'll come in time, right? It'll happen when it's supposed to. We're not there yet.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
There's still too much to build. Like, could you imagine going back and redoing all those videos?
I will. I know we're gonna have to keep adding to it too with all these new updates. Our heads spinning with all these updates all the time coming out now, baby.
Proof.
Okay, I love you, man.
Much love.
We'll stay in touch.
Always,
DeFi
brother.
Kingdoms to the moon, baby.
And a heads up, next week it's going to be at this same time, not at 6 o'clock. The reason we did it 2 hours late, my fault. My son has a choir performance. I thought it was this Thursday, so I coordinated with Grady to bump it back so that we could I could make it, but it turns out that was next week. So we stuck with the time because it was close to time, and next week we're going to keep it at the same time. And then after that, I don't know, maybe we'll go back to 6. Maybe we'll keep it here. We'll talk.
Yeah,
but appreciate you, brother. Mad love. I love you. Appreciate everything you're doing.
All right, we'll see you.